All right, what's up, guys? This is Race Talk. I am joined by Mike McMahon of the Speedway Review, powered by NASCAR Daily.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. John, Mike is one of my really good friends. He's actually he created the Facebook group NASCAR Daily, and
Cool.
he had a podcast called 2488, and I actually interviewed Bill Lester on his podcast. So, and now he's joined forces with the Speed Review, and just last night he talked to Chase Elliott's best friend.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Cody Dinsmore works at the Georgia Racing Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Dawsonville, and he had some really cool stories to share last night. But Jordan was my original member, NASCAR Daily. Him and I we kind of just blend on every single project we work together on. But John, I'm not really familiar with you. If you could give me a quick introduction, it's damn nice to meet you, buddy.
Oh yeah, it's good to meet you. I've been in and out of racing for about 10 years. I do all the pit stops, all that fun stuff. If you watch the Xfinity race in Nashville, I was the guy on the hood. Whenever the 74 lost his brakes. But yeah, I grew up a race fan, and just basically got to live my dream out, which is pretty awesome. When I take time to think about it, and I joined your group on Facebook 6 or 8 months ago, I think it was. I'm trying to remember whenever I restarted my Facebook. It was one of the first ones I joined, first groups I joined. Just because I like seeing I enjoy watching people talk about the sport. So I like the interest in the sport.
Well, we're very passionate over there, and I didn't even know you were in there. You're kind of like hidden in the shadows.
Yeah, I don't usually say a whole lot. Just every now and then I'll get on there and I'll give an opinion of something, but very rarely. Like I'm like that with most everything. Any groups I'm in, like I like to watch and read and see where stuff is, but I try not to, try not to interject anything that necessarily. My opinions are my opinions. Now, if I know a fact or something, I might say something. But
well, I'm really honored that you found my group. Can I ask you how you came across it?
Honestly, I can't remember. I think it was just kind of in some of the stuff whenever like I said, I had to restart my Facebook. I got a new phone and couldn't remember my login information. So I had to
Been
start
there plenty of times.
Yeah, it's crazy. You think you remember that password?
Jordan, you're on your third account now.
Second.
Feels like 3.
I know it does. Anyway, how John became a part of the show is I actually messaged him on Facebook saying, "Hey, I have a podcast that I'm starting up. Would you like to be a guest?" And him and his brother Austin actually decided that they was going to be a host. Now Austin couldn't join us tonight because he said he's knee deep in his truck right now. So I'm gonna let him have his night.
He's he had some brake issues on his truck. He's got to get it back going because this is his only form of transportation. So so he's got to he's got to get that handled while he's got a little bit of time. We get to head up to good old New Hampshire here in a few days.
So I was trying to figure out how you found the group to see what I'm doing right.
I can't remember exactly. I think it was just where like a couple of things I followed was like the NASCAR, like I think it's NASCAR Winston Cup, like through 2003, like and stuff like that, and you were just kind of was in the I guess the genre of it or whatever, like of what my other likes were, and you came across, and I was like, well, this looks like it could be a interesting group to follow.
Well, that logo Jordan created. Jordan creates these amazing logos, and it really is quite eye-catching when you look at it. It's really just looks professional and awesome. So Jordan's my go-to creative guy, and he's really awesome. So I really thank you for having me on here. Sorry it's taken so long.
Oh, no, you're fine. Like, I've had Samantha Tan on here. I've had Chris Wright on here. And in fact, as a matter of fact, next week, most likely, I'm having Ward Burton on the show.
Yeah, which will be awesome.
Ward Burton.
Did he really confirm? I got to see that.
He, I shot him a message on. I'll tell you exactly what he said. I went on to, oh, what's up, William? This is your 8th account. Dang, dude, remember your passwords.
It's a competition now.
I guess so. No, I reached out to Ward Burton I think it was last Friday or I can't remember. It was on the 9th. So last Thursday, I said, hey, I run a podcast called Race Talk, and I would love to have you on as a guest sometime. On Saturday, he replied back, sure, I will be gone next week to the Everglades, but maybe after that. So, and he told me to get in touch with him the following week. So Sunday or Monday, I'm gonna get a hold of him on Sunday and be like, hey, do you want to be on Race Talk this week or another week? You just tell me when, and I'll get you on.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. He's definitely a legend in the sport.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I talked to Samantha Tan yesterday. She said she'll come back to Race Talk at the end of her season in November. We'll talk like the 24/8 season and series, stuff like that, and the sports car series and stuff like that. So lots of big stuff coming up on Racing. Racing Talk is going to be the new title. Mike and I was talking today, and he said it was a good idea that I should change it.
That story? Should I share that story?
So when Mike typed in on YouTube Race Talk, it's something about talking about race, and it was like the people of different cultures and stuff. I was like, yeah, let me change this up just a tad bit.
Well, because if you say, hey, look up my podcast on YouTube, and those are the search results that come up.
Yeah, I noticed that too. So.
I was like, I don't want to tell you how to run your operation, but
I mean that would probably make it a little bit easier to find.
Well, I just want to say that I watched the Samantha Tan interview, Jordan, and I'll say this publicly. She was just delightful. I mean, she was so well spoken, so professional, but yet she, like they were saying that Cody was saying last night, the problem with our young drivers in NASCAR today is they're prone to be so professional and clean cut and well spoken that they don't have a whole lot of personality anymore. But even though she was professional, man, she was funny as hell.
She was.
She was talking about being an Asian woman as a race car driver, and I was like, I didn't even think of that, and it was just, she was just so wonderful, so delightful and entertaining. So I'm going to beg you to let me come on and talk to her, because
of course
I don't even follow that series, but now I'm a fan of hers, and I'm following her because, bravo to you, man. Golf clap, Jordan.
And not only that,
giving you a golf clap.
And none of that, I still got it right here.
Yeah, she was definitely real personable and stuff. I watched the interview live that day. She's definitely got big things ahead of her.
Oh yeah, because I know she
would be a sponsor's dream.
Oh yeah, because I know she really wants to run Le Mans. So
I actually I wouldn't say I'm embarrassed by this, but I'm pretty much Cup Series only when it comes to racing. I don't kind of venture outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
But Jordan this week had to explain to me the difference between Le Mans and IMSA. So
Yeah, there's so many types of racing I don't even really keep up. I was me and my wife were watching a thing. I showed her an F1 pit stop, and it's like the world record in F1 is a like 1.86 second pit stop.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went and I watched. There was a video that had like 6, 7 series, including NASCAR, and showing the different ways they do pit stops. And she's like, "What kind of car is that?" And I was like, "I don't know, some kind of prototype." I don't know what series it was. But I think it was a Le Mans, something to do with Le Mans. And then
It probably was.
I mean, I spend so much time in focused on NASCAR. It's hard for me to do a whole lot of other stuff. I'm kind of like you, Mike. I follow, it's my job, but everything outside of racing, if I catch it on TV, I'll watch it, but I don't necessarily know it.
I just love the stock cars so much, and despite everyone saying, "Oh, they only turn left and everything," I just I look at those the sprint cars and the late models, and Jordan loves just about every form of racing, and I look at these cars and I'm like, man, Jeff Gordon didn't drive that car. I'm like,
Yeah.
That's not what my car looks like. I always loved. It was my dream to drive a street car that I could, make it look like a stock car. So when you get passed by me, a NASCAR fan just whooped your butt on the street.
That's true. That is true. I'm not gonna lie. That is pretty true.
John, I'm gonna share this because I'm not embarrassed. But my first car, I took a yellow can of spray paint. And I painted yellow stripes on my back bumper because I wanted everyone to know I was a rookie.
There was a guy I knew. I can't think of his name. I briefly went to NASCAR Tech. I actually left NASCAR Tech before I graduated. But there was a kid there, and he put yellow tape on. More or less where the spoilers should have been on the car. I forget, he had like a old Buick or something, but he put it at the top, like right there at the front. And I was like, it's supposed to go lower if you're trying to have rookie stripes. And he argued with me and said, no, that's where it is on a race car. There's a race car you're not, I guess. But I always thought it was funny that he did that.
So let's get on with it now. So I'm pulled up to, I don't know if you heard this or not, Mike, but Josh Berry is filling in for Michael Annett this weekend at New Hampshire.
Yeah, I keep hearing that, and just kudos to Josh Berry for being the new Ross Chastain in NASCAR. I mean, I don't care what Ross is running. I don't care what car, truck, number. If Josh Berry is running something, I'm rooting for him. That's my new, lower series underdog.
Hey, he's a hell of a driver.
Oh yeah, he's a wheel man.
But could you explain further the medical leave and how that works with Michael Annett? Because I keep hearing about it. You tell me about it, but I don't understand why he needs medical clearance to keep. Can you explain how that works?
Okay, the reason why Michael Annett needs a medical clearance is because he did miss last weekend and he is playoff eligible. So if he makes the playoffs, he'll get the waiver. But however, I read today that Michael Annett will not be available for the playoffs, unfortunately, because it depends on how extensive his injury is, how well his length of stay for his surgery would be. By the time he comes back to race, the playoffs would have already started, so therefore he wouldn't be able to make the playoffs, unfortunately. But
Okay.
it's just taking it day by day. I guess he was in a I think it was you. I think it was you that told me, John. He was in a he was exercising and injured himself.
I honestly, I don't know. I hadn't heard about it till I just.
Oh no, it was somebody in this other group. Never mind, I got them confused.
Yeah, I saw the post where they announced that he was going to have Josh Berry racing for him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know for sure what had happened.
Right, because I was so confused about what happened Friday night for the truck race. They said all of a sudden Michael Nutt's out. I'm like, wait, what? Because Spencer Boyd didn't race Friday night. Somebody else did. And I was like, wait a minute. Why is Michael Annett not in this? Was it the 20 car, the 02 truck? I can't keep up with Young's Motorsports sometimes. Was it the 02?
Are you talking our Motorsports with Brett Moffitt?
No, Young's Motorsports.
Oh.
No, not with Brett Moffitt. Hey Xavier, what's up, buddy?
Nothing much. I hear
we're just talking about the All right, and let's see. Yeah, it's a crazy situation.
Hey Xavier, haven't seen you in a while, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
You don't come around NASCAR Daily anymore, man. What's up?
Just been busy.
Calling you out on YouTube, bro.
Man. But
so what I was confused with the Michael Annett situation was like, was the medical clearance going to give whoever substitutes for him those points in the races?
No, it was going to give Michael Annett the clearance to race in the playoffs. If he's able to come back for the playoffs, he would have the waiver because he'll have the medical waiver to race into the playoffs, like Ryan Newman and Kyle Busch.
Yeah, they NASCAR's kind of made. I guess they have a history of that now. That if it's something, because part of the rules to be in the playoffs is you have to attempt every race, and but if something basically out of your control, you get hurt, or something of that nature, like Jimmy Johnson, he missed Pocono last year because of COVID protocol, and they gave him clearance that if he would have gotten enough points or won a race, they still would have let him in the into the playoffs, even though he didn't technically attempt all the races. And it's just that's kind of been what NASCAR's done since they started this playoff system. They've always tended to give a medical clearance. But it's also, you have to be able to get in on your own merit. If you're out, even if you want to race and you missed enough races, if you drop below 30th in the points, then you don't qualify. So the medical clearance doesn't outrank you're having to meet all the others. It just gives you permission to miss a race.
Yeah, I was like. Yeah, I still remember people saying in 2015, oh, Kyle Busch cheated. I'm like, how did he cheat? He was able to race in the playoffs because they gave him that waiver. Like, that was not his fault that he got hurt at Daytona. Then again, he missed like 6 or 7 races, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember, but he had to
11.
Yeah, but he started in a big hole and had to get into the top 30 in points and win a race.
And he did that too.
Yeah, and he got in the top 30 in points, starting halfway through the regular season. So I didn't necessarily have an issue with them giving, because he would have started all those races.
Around on Twitter with Bob Pockris, but I just saw it that he posted it 1 hour ago that the SRX cars are required to have mufflers on for this weekend at Nashville.
It's not surprising.
Right, because that's Nashville.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already debating about the Fairground Speedway anyway. I don't know. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to Bill versus Chase.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Bill doesn't have as much luck in the cars as what I thought he was going to have. I know the first couple of races they said that there was something wrong with the car. That's why he kept falling out, and they actually gave him a whole different car. But even still, like he's had a mix of bad luck, and then he got hurt. 2 weeks ago, hurt his wrist and stuff, and then I kind of feel bad for Bill.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Bill is really pushing the issue though at his age. It seems like he's just enjoying being out there in the competition, and he's running hard. I'm not saying he's cruising, but like John said, he definitely hurt his wrist, which definitely, especially at Slinger, which that was my first time laying eyes or even hearing about that track. That place
Beautiful
is incredible.
track.
That place is incredible. It really reminded me of a kind of a smaller Bristol, but man, was that fun to watch.
Yeah, seeing Slinger reminded me in the figure 8 track reminded me so much of my former local track, Columbus Motor Speedway. When I was watching, I was like, damn, I miss CMS so freaking much. I was so sad when they closed it down after 75 years in 2016. Like I've met like guys there. Chase Elliott raced there. Daniel Suarez raced there. Bubba Wallace raced there. Brett Moffitt raced there. A whole bunch of people that raced in the Canadian Series raced at Columbus Motor Speedway. Ryan Newman raced at Columbus Motor Speedway. I seen him race in that USAC race that he was there 1 year as a guest. I seen him race. It's like there's so many NASCAR people that's in there now raced at CMS.
Yeah.
So they shut down that track?
It's gone. They replaced it with a lacrosse stadium, and that lacrosse team don't even play in Ohio no more. The whole league shut down in 2019, so it was pointless to even get rid of it in the first damn place.
Tony seems to be bringing these tracks, giving them their time in the spotlight, so who knows, maybe it'll make a comeback.
I doubt it. It's like completely gone. Football field and everything.
Oh, they tore it down?
They tore it completely. The only thing that's left is the backstretch wall. That's it.
Huh.
Everything else is a football field. Even the quarter midget track is gone. It pisses me off.
Yeah, that's always sad when a track goes away.
But I tell you what, though, Paul Tracy, he got what he deserved. I'm just gonna say that way.
Did you watch Haley's video?
I did.
Dude, he made an ass of himself on YouTube. He's being filmed, and he looks like an adult child, like Boss Baby, in that little tiny camper. Like, I'm so tired of people dumping me, man. I'm so tired of it. Like, literally, how many fenders have you lost, bro?
Oh yeah.
And to this day, he still says he won the Indianapolis 500 in 2002. No, you did not. The caution came out. Helio Castroneves was leading, not you. Man. That was an entertaining race. I'm not even going to lie. That was a hell of a race.
I had a lot of fun broadcasting that, and I got like a record high 400 views.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
more than what I usually get. But I kid you not, dude. Though.
What's up?
That Knoxville race, that was something else. In my honest opinion, go back to Iowa Speedway or go back to Eldora or don't race third at all, because that race was just a hot mess.
It kind of reminded me of, I mean, not necessarily the same, but but kind of an old school Bristol type thing, where
or Martinsville,
and you had to move people to get somewhere. I didn't see the start of the race, but they said that the track had better. It was more the track was the groove was wider, but at whenever I turned it on, basically in the third stage, they had it had already gone to one groove, and I think they should have taken the time to rework the track somewhere before the third stage to give them more room. But
it looked, on top of that, the track looked a little dry. It didn't look like it was moist like it should have been.
Yeah, it looked like clay. Yeah, someone commented. I can't quote directly or say where I saw it. I should have taken a screenshot of it, but it was like is a picture of all the carnage of the trucks, and it was like spending millions to win thousands, and it was like 5 laughing emoji faces. I was like, damn, dude, like that is spot on. They just trashed like 20 trucks for nothing.
Oh yeah, I mean that restart, like the 34 truck, he stepped out a little bit, but then the truck behind him just didn't cut him a break. I mean, just turned him in front of the whole field. And it was kind of, at that point, you were gonna wreck half the field because the whole field was so bunched up and right there. So yeah, I hated seeing it. The only thing with those is that you generally bring your worst chassis to the dirt track races. That they're not necessarily. I mean, they're not bringing something brand new. It's usually the oldest chassis in the back of the shop collecting dust. They clean it up, put it together, and go out there and race because they know what's going to happen. For one, the dirt surface is gonna ruin the chassis. So the loss isn't as much as what it would have been at, say, Daytona, wrecking the same kind of vehicle. But yeah, it was quite a cluster.
And I remember watching Sheldon Creed, and he was like, "We don't belong here. We should be at Iowa Speedway. Where these trucks are made for, dude. Seriously, those comments were not needed. You're a champion. Be a champion."
Oh yeah.
I just want to say real quick. I want to say, John, that was awesome because we as I don't know. I can't speak for Jordan, but me as a fan, I don't know. What shops do as far as chassis and stuff like that. So I just fanboyed out hearing you say that. Like that was
pretty cool.
That was spot on, dude. I'm spot on for that, bro. I'm spot on for Sheldon's comments. I mean, Iowa is one of my favorite tracks to run on Heat 5. It's got a unique set of high bank where you can kind of run the wall if you want to take
definitely.
Or you can run the bottom kind of like Richmond, and it's got it's a really unique track in that way where if your truck is not handling, it's going to wash up and go wide, and you're going to actually lose time instead of gaining it, where normally if you run the high side of a banking like Tyler Reddick or Kyle Larson or even Kyle Busch, not to transition to Cup already, but man, Kyle Busch was rim riding that friggin' wall, man.
Yeah,
I tell you what, that track is like that track. The track kind of reminds me of like a mini Auto Club, Richmond, Martinsville, Bristol, something like that. It's just a unique track, and it just makes me sad that Rusty Wallace did not have IndyCar there this year. He did not have. He's having ARCAs there. Are you working on ARCA race, John?
I don't know if I'm doing that one yet or not.
Okay. The trucks in Xfinity is in Iowa. I say if you really want Iowa to get some money, take the Cup Series there. They'll make money.
I think that's a little small. I'm not sure what the seating is like there. But then again, if we're doing tracks like Nashville Super Speedway. I mean, me personally, I don't care what track we go to as long as it's the Cup Series drivers that are running. I personally don't care. But yeah, man, definitely more short tracks and less. I don't want to say less road courses, but less road courses.
But
That's
yeah.
too many. That's too many road courses.
Yeah, Mike, Iowa Speedway seats 30,000.
Yeah, that's not very much for a Cup race. We're most venues can hold about 100,000. Wouldn't you say, John?
It depends. I mean, a lot of tracks they're like a Martinsville or something's about 65, and it's got one of the lower seating capacities. I think they usually get about 50,000 fans to that track. So yeah, I mean that would be a really low number, but they can always bring in temporary stands and stuff like that they do.
Martinsville confuses me, John, because when you see it on TV, there's so many empty seats. Not during COVID, but like the backstretch looks like it's empty, and they put those giant sponsorships over the seats so you can see them on TV. It's like, why? You're saying it has minimal capacity, but I can't believe we're not selling out Martinsville.
Yeah, it's just one of those. It's in the location it's at. For one, I think hurts it a little bit. But honestly, the seats that are covered are some original seats from back when the track was built. It's all concrete seats. The amenities aren't there at the area, like the whole backstretch. I mean, there's nothing there. Above it's is like the camper overlook, and so even if you sold those seats, people would have to walk to the corners, turns 1 and 2 or turns 3 and 4 to be able to go to a concession stand or anything.
Oh, I think we lost John. Yeah.
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 Hey, Mike, did you hear about the new NASCAR 2021 game?
No.
I heard about it.
Dude,
I've
the
seen
graphics look
screenshots.
so freaking real. The screenshots look, dude,
Yeah.
it looks so realistic, and they're using the motors. It will not be, the Heat series is done forever.
And they got the graphics from R Factor 2.
It's supposed to have similar designers to iRacing. So, did you get a release date for that?
Not yet. They have not they don't have a video out for it yet either. But for the Formula One fans, F1 2021 comes out on the 16th. The graphics look dope. They have an awesome story mode. We can actually have your own story. So I'm not sure how, Xavier, I don't know if you've seen it or not yet. Mike, I don't know if you've seen previews for that game or not.
No, not even.
I've seen Formula 1 2021, the game, and the story. Seen some clips from the story mode. Because the game's not fully released yet, so the people who have early access to it aren't allowed to post so much about it. So I've been trying to snoop around on YouTube, try to get little bits here and there. Now, I've seen the new story mode, Breaking Point, and that is pretty good. It would, if I had the console for it and I had the money, I would buy it.
I wish NASCAR would do something like that for their games. I want like a story mode type for NASCAR games. What about that, Mike? What you think? And we lost Mike. What is going on?
But to continue on with that, I would love to see a story mode like Formula One has in a NASCAR video game. And hopefully the online physics for NASCAR 22 is a lot better than the Heat series.
What happened?
Yeah, It didn't look like my microphone was working, so I had to back out because I was talking, but it wasn't showing my mic working. What was your question, Jordan?
Now, how would you feel if NASCAR if the NASCAR game had its own story mode where you start out lower and actually have like the actual story mode and work your way up, not like it is with the NASCAR Heat Series. You start in extreme dirt, you can work your way up, like an actual story mode, like how you got to the racing stuff, kind of like with Madden, kind of like in Madden NFL. You start out as in high school, go up stuff like how would you have that game? That would be cool. What you think about that?
So how low exactly would I be starting? Because I'm always anxious to get to the Cup Series, and I don't really like starting out too low. I didn't even like the dirt until my good buddy Caden raced with me and taught me how to run on dirt, and then I'm like, oh my God, this is actually fun. So I don't know if I'd want to start. I mean, I think the more smaller divisions you put into a game, like obviously we see, I think SRX, Tony's game, is fairly popular.
I haven't played it yet.
But I heard a lot of people were leaving Heat 5 to go play that instead. I'm not sure. But I think the more divisions of racing you put in there, the more entertaining, the more people are going to want to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to talk about the Xfinity Series race?
Yeah, give me a second. I'm trying to figure out what happened with John. Anyway, I got some sports car news. So, sports cars was at Watkins Glen, and there were 4 HSR Endurance Challenge race winners were crowned at Watkins Glen. 4 different historic. It's HSR. Mike is historic sports car racing. So they bring out like the cars from like the 60s, like from like the 70s and 80s and stuff like that.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Oh hell yeah! They call it Hinger Lakes Invitational with Masters Historic Racing at the Watkins Glen International. They was there July 9th through the 11th. And they were going to do it last year, but because of COVID, they couldn't do it. Watkins Glen was closed last year because of COVID. So it looks like that there was a 1974 Chevron B26 was one of the winners there. That's pretty cool. Then you had a 2016 991 Porsche 991 GT3 as well, and a 1973 Porsche. Ooh, in a 2011 100 Mercedes Benz. Damn, those are some nice cars. Look at that.
That's all right.
Yeah.
And then
I like the Ferraris from that time period better. It's kind of hard to see.
Yeah, then we got Festival of Speed that happened over the weekend.
You know,
Roger
Penske
raced.
I wanted to watch that, but the videos on YouTube I think were like 10 hours long, and I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna get all that in.
John's phone died. Okay. All right, he's gonna get on his wife's account. All right. Yeah.
I've seen a little bit of Goodwood Festival Speed. I saw when the BMW went to the hay bales.
Mm-hmm.
As a car guy myself, I don't like seeing cars, any type of cars hit anything. But to see a BMW valued in the 6 digits go in the hay bales and get totaled really hurt me mentally.
Okay. All right. Let's see. While we wait for John to get back on, Mike, I did not catch the Xfinity Series on Saturday because I was out. I was with family on Saturday.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jordan. I wouldn't say you missed the Kyle Busch show, but for the first two stages, he was out in front. But it did get interesting where Daniel Hemrick actually managed to, either through pit strategy or just having a faster pit stop, or Kyle Busch got shuffled back somehow and lost the clean air. Hemrick was actually out in front of that thing, and he was well on his way to winning when a late race. You all right over there, bud?
Huh? Yeah, I'm fine.
All right. It makes a lot of noise when you're shifting around, so I'm gonna wait till you settle down. Okay.
You like that? You like that?
That's awesome. So yeah, in a late race restart, Kyle Busch was on the inside pushing Hemrick, and I guess his bump drafting with the nose of that Supra was a little too aggressive and kind of shot Hemrick up the middle, and then he got clipped by somebody and just got completely taken out. So Hemrick came close once again, but ultimately he's, bridesmaid, never a bride, unfortunately. So Kyle Busch had the clean air. Allmendinger, and we saw it in the Cup Series too, which I was surprised we saw it in the Xfinity Series. Usually those cars handle better, but that clean air you get at Atlanta, once the tires go away, you can't run up and catch someone, and you can't get around them unless you use lap traffic. So Kyle Busch got his 102nd victory, and NBC did quote Kyle saying that he planned on this being his final race now that he's hit 100 wins. But yeah, exactly.
So he says.
Yeah.
No, honestly, Mike. Mike and Xavier, I think that was Kyle Busch's last two Raw in the Xfinity Series.
I don't think it was his last ever. I think he's kind of like people that try to quit smoking and they're like, "This is my last cigarette ever." I'm pretty sure he'll be back, even if it's in like.
Hey, welcome back, John.
There's John.
Yeah. My phone. Sometimes it'll die at like 1%. Sometimes it dies at 5%. You never know when it's going to do it to me. So I had to steal my wife's phone.
You're too mobile, man. You got to get set up somewhere. You got to plug in the charger. Get the DBC phone prop. I bought it on Amazon. It's like a paperweight that holds up my cell phone. It was only like $12.
No, that's not bad.
I use it for podcasts and for my live broadcast commentary.
Huh.
Hey, those stories that Christmas. Those stories that Cody was talking about last night, they were funny, especially one with the monkey.
Yeah. Somehow we worked in a monkey into our podcast. It's just the wild things that happen on the Speedway Review. Which is, our episodes are Wednesday nights at 8 p.m.
That's cool. I'll have to.
I'm having a hard time hearing Xavier. He's tried to talk twice now.
You said what, Xavier?
Have you seen Brad Keselowski's New Hampshire car?
Brad Keselowski's Hampshire car?
I haven't.
Dude.
Brad Keselowski's New Hampshire car.
Oh, his New Hampshire car? Oh, you guys got to see this. I'm about to show it to you guys. It's wicked cool. Mike, I don't know if you've seen it yet or not.
You like it.
Brad
Not
Keselowski.
literally an electric car, but you know what I mean. When I say it's electric.
Hang on, let me get back to it. I just seen it today, and I was like, that's freaking cool.
I didn't see anyone post about it.
He did.
Yeah, I don't follow Brad.
There it is.
That's a
Watch
nice looking car.
I like the blue on it. Reminds me of an old Detroit car. He won the July Daytona race a couple years back, 2016, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I remember what you're talking about with that one. Yeah, I mean, it's a sharp looking scheme.
Oh yeah. So John, how was Elko?
It was different. Normally, I mean, I hardly ever go to. Actually, that was the first ARCA standalone race I've ever done. Normally I'm with the, any other time I'd have been in Atlanta with the Xfinity car, but the guy, the 30 team needed help. They needed a hauler driver, and they needed somebody that could do more than just drive the hauler. So they worked out a deal with my boss, and I got to go up there. It was I said it was a nice track. It's actually a really nice facility for what I thought it was going to be. Just, I mean, having no real idea of Elko. I didn't even know Elko. Like, I kind of heard of it, but I didn't know what I was even looking for. And the race went all right. We were third fastest in practice, but it was the driver, Adam. I can't say his last name right. Linky. I don't know. I butcher names sometimes, but
I do it too.
It was his first time in a full sized, a full size race car. He'd run like late models and stuff like that, but a full size, and that kind of car, that kind of race, that long of a race. It's 250 laps, which on that small of a track only wound up being like 93 miles, but that's still hitting your marks a lot of times in a row when you're not used to running that long. And so it was a lot of learning. By the end of the race, he was fast. I mean, Ty Gibbs, he caught him to lap him, but it wasn't like he was lapping some of the cars. I mean, he could hang with him. He could stay up and like put up a fight to stay on the lead lap and stuff like that. But it was a fun experience. I enjoy ARCA. Usually the pressure's not so much there. You're there to win. You're there to do the best you can, but it's kind of smaller, and they use the old school templates like NASCAR used to use back before the Hawkeye and the Claw and all those.
Right, because don't they use the old Cup cars?
Yeah,
it's the 2017 models is what it looks like the 2016.
Yeah, they're basically Gen 4 chassis. The car that the ARCA 30 car is the one I helped primarily. I did help the 63 car, Spire, or not Spire. Starts with an S. I can't think of the name of the team, but in Talladega, the Dave Mater finished second in Talladega this year, and I was with that team for that race. But the majority of the year I've been with the 30 car, RJR, and they the chassis that we used in Daytona was Sterling Marlin's chassis from the 2001 Daytona 500.
Oh,
wow!
Nice. Wow!
So it's that that's almost Hall of Fame worthy of a chassis.
Yeah.
But, I mean, given what occurred, off of that front bumper of that car, and it's still the same basic chassis. I mean, they've done a little stuff here and there to upgrade it, update it, but it's the majority of the chassis all original. So,
hey Jordan, I'm gonna jump off here in a minute, but John, I want to say it's really awesome talking to you. You're a real cool dude, and I want to work with you again. But before I hop off, I want to ask you two quick questions. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the reshaping of Atlanta Motor Speedway first.
I like Atlanta, like the way it is. I've always it's put on a good show for the last 20 years, and I hate that they're gonna change it. I have a hard time in my mind picturing what the track's gonna look like. To me, I don't know why you would make a track, a track that puts on that good of a show and just completely change it. It's kind of like whenever they originally changed Bristol and you were with the progressive banking and stuff.
Right.
It's one of those if if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of situations in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I completely understand repaving it because the track hasn't been repaved since they reconfigured it back in.
I was gonna say it literally broke on Sunday. They chunked it.
So they hadn't. So it hadn't been repaved since 1997.
That's the original asphalt from
wow.
From first reconfigured it. I knew that they were looking to reconfigure the track. The stuff that I had been hearing was they were going to take it back more to the pre-1997 reconfigure. A mile and a half oval.
That'd be cool.
Through oval. And they were going to put, because they legalized gambling and stuff in Georgia, they were going to put a casino up.
That'd be cool.
At the track.
Yeah, but I heard about that too.
Honestly, John, I liked pre-reconfigured track. I like the old Atlanta. The Atlanta that Alan Kulwicki won on, Dale Earnhardt won, and Davey Allison won on. I missed that old track. It
creeped me out. This past last year during quarantine and COVID, I went back to 1993 and watched Jeff Gordon's rookie season because I missed like the previous 10 years of racing, from being a little kid. So I went back in time and watched, and it just creeped me out that the front stretch was the back stretch and there was no tri-oval. I'm like, they're supposed to be going into the tri-oval and they're not. They're just going straight through pit road.
Yeah, that track was bad. I mean, it's always been fast. It's the turns are so to the untrained eye, it looks like Charlotte and like Texas, but the turns there, you're in the turns, for the majority of the lap. Honestly, at Atlanta, the back stretch is so short and stuff, and that's why you see them carry so much speed from the top lane. Because they make the back stretch long enough to run. And the turns are so sweeping compared to Charlotte or Texas, where they're, and it's not a lot that it's the turns are the radius is bigger, but it is at Atlanta, and that's the way it was before they reconfigured it. It was the turns were so big you could carry so much speed there. That track's always been bad fast, and like I said, it's always put on a good show. And I mean, I kind of hate that they're going to do it. I hope it doesn't do something to hurt the product. They claim that they did a whole bunch of simulation stuff, using iRacing technology and all that. So, so hopefully they know what they're getting into with it.
If you go on NASCAR and NBC, Dale Jr., Garrett Smithley, Timmy Hill, and I think William Byron, like the best iRacers ran the next gen simulated on the so-called, what it might look like, the Atlanta reconfiguration. It's on Facebook. You can watch that. I'm not really investing in what a simulation could be. I'd rather see the final product. But I'm excited about making it different from, and that was a good point you made, John, that the corners are sweeping and larger and you carry more speed at the top. You can't really do that at Charlotte or even Texas. Those are kind of bottom feeder mile and a half. So that was a good point. But I was bored as a fan by Atlanta the last 5 years or so. I really like that we brought it back to only one race per year. And I was kind of hoping if we were going to keep the old surface that they'd someone mentioned what other tracks we could do a doubleheader at to mix things up rather than go to that track twice. And I was hoping Atlanta would be that. But with this new configuration and a new car, and I'm betting that it's going to be new asphalt, I think we're going to see a hell of a different Atlanta race than we've ever seen before.
And Mike,
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a lot of unknowns.
my favorite Atlanta race, 2001 Harvick Gordon. I was sad that Gordon lost, but I was happy as hell that Harvick won. That was emotional because it was the first RCR win since the passing of Earnhardt. And I tell you what, that is always going to be my favorite Atlanta race of all time. 2001.
Well, no, it was Steve Park at Rockingham, actually.
But Steve Park's not RCR. Steve Park was DEI.
Oh, it's DEI. Yeah. Oh, good point. RCR.
And plus, with that 29 being the original 3 car, that made it even more special.
That's true. My bad, man.
It's all good.
Yeah. Like I said, to me, I mean, which I like tracks that wear tires out. I mean, it not only does it make what, I mean, whenever you come in and you're short pitting or something, and like me as a on the pit crew, tire carrier, hey, we're going to short pit, let's get a good stop in, because tracks that eat up the tires, if you have a good stop, a little bit faster than the next guy on the stop, but you go out there and run 2 laps at 3 seconds a lap faster than what he can run, that little bit that you gained on pit road is just magnified, over the course of the run and stuff. And to me, tracks that are like that make it's more of a driver's track than necessarily the car. You have to be able to kind of I guess manage your tire wear and stuff, and save something for you can't go out there and burn your tires up in 10 laps because the track's just going to eat them up. And that's what Atlanta became, was a tire management track. It was like a Darlington stuff. But I will say that if they did just repave it, as fast as those cars are, I mean, whenever they repaved Darlington, and Darlington's a narrow track, they were topping over 200 mile an hour on the straight, going off into the corners. And you don't think of Darlington being that fast, but as much as not only the cars have improved, but how smooth, all that's can be done by GPS and stuff with paving. The track's gonna be so smooth, and it's gonna have so much grip in it that if if they would have just kept the track the same, I'd have seen them doing 230 mile an hour or something. They would have about had to put restrictor plates on them, and that's crazy to think. At an Atlanta.
Well, if I remember right, when they repaved Michigan, the fastest lap of that track was 202 miles per hour.
Yes, I think that's right.
That was.
I mean, Auto Club is the same style of track, and they actually have that speedometer that's in turn 1, and it shows you what they're arcing at, what speed. I think it hits like 206 or 205.
Yeah, they almost added plates to California and Michigan.
Yeah, I was really hoping for that. I love restrictor plate racing, Daytona, Talladega. So to have 3 instead of 2 would have been incredible.
Hey, Mike, here it is. The fastest lap ever ran at Michigan International Speedway, and fastest on trial, Jeff Gordon, August 15, 2014, 206.558 miles per hour, set by Jeff Gordon at a time of 34.85 seconds.
Yeah, buddy.
I think the fastest overall speed was actually done by Kurt Busch at either Texas or Atlanta.
And the fastest speed at Michigan, John, was set in 2000 by Paul Tracy, 234 miles per hour.
Yeah,
that's Indianapolis Motor Speedway speeds.
Yeah, IndyCar. I was telling my wife, we were talking about stuff, and IndyCar creates so much downforce.
Mm-hmm.
To me, they're I don't really follow it. I don't have, we race on the same day a lot of times, so I don't follow it. But I've always, the engineering in those cars has always been so interesting to me. Like the downforce on that those cars create at, I think it was 30 mile an hour, 35 mile an hour. You could, if you could get the car to go up the wall and stick to the ceiling, drive to the ceiling, it would stick to the ceiling. That's how much downforce it creates at just 35 mile an hour.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So John, what I do when I interview someone, and I consider you to be someone in the industry that I'm interviewing. So my tradition is, at the end of my interview, I want to hear a fanboy story, because I can you said it, and I can hear what a fanboy you are of the sport. So, I don't know what Jordan's is, but I know mine is like when I
it's a good one.
I met Richard Petty after 20 years. I met Mike Helton and Rusty Wallace, moments like that where you just, even though you work around these people, like you had that moment that was just like, damn, that just happened.
Yeah, I have a few. Like, it'll randomly hit me. I was working on a car for the Daytona 500. It wasn't necessarily meeting anybody or anything, but I was like working on the car, and I walked over to the toolbox to turn around, look at the car, and I was like, I'm working on a car for the Daytona 500. Because, like I said, I mean, I grew up. I mean, if you go back to whenever kindergarten, they'd ask you what you were going to do or what you want to do whenever you grew up. it was NASCAR. That's all I was ever going to do. And
wow.
I didn't have family in it. I don't, come from, a financial background that, we didn't know anybody in racing at the time. And I just, a lot of my stuff was luck. Like, I mean, I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, talk to the right person, and hey, we'll give you a shot. And I took the opportunity and tried to make the best of every opportunity I've gotten, and I've gotten to have a lot of fun doing it. But I would say probably before just the me. If you talk about those type of situations, growing up, I was a Terry Labonte fan.
Oh,
I've got more Terry Labonte stuff than I could fill up a Walmart or something with just Terry Labonte stuff. And they always had the Winston preview in Winston-Salem, which I live 25 minutes from Winston.
Mm-hmm.
So every year we would go, and all the drivers would come and do autograph sessions. And so I've got pictures of me with Terry Labonte. They would bring all the show cars out, so I had pictures standing next to the cars and all this. And I mean, I remember going to meet Terry Labonte, and he would try to talk to me. He'd sign my shirt or hat or whatever I brought to get autographed, and he would try to talk to me, and I would just look at him just amazed that he was there. And all the way up till he retired, I was I went to Hendrick Motorsports the year that he announced he was stepping down from full time, and whenever he started driving the 44 car. And
2003 was his final year.
Yeah.
2004 was the final year, and then Kyle Busch came on in 2005, and he picked up the 44.
It was during the off season between 2004 and 2005, and I just went to the shop. My uncle took me, my aunt and uncle took me, and we just went, and I was, let's see, I was 15 at the time, I think, and 15 or 16, and we went down and looked at everything. I'd been there before, but they had just built the new they had 4 individual race shops years ago or 3 individual shops, and then they built the 4824 shop. Mm-hmm. and then years later they put the 5 and the 88 into a shop, and
Right.
and Terry Labonte's shop or where the 5 team was kind of off. I without having a map to show somebody, it was off kind of by itself in its own little building, off to like the right of the museum where the museum was at the time, and I'm sitting there, I'm talking to my uncle, and I had like the people from the shop, because anything racing, I mean, I wasn't just there for the drivers. They were working on race cars. They were heroes to me. And they come over and signed they always kept little Kellogg's cereal boxes, broke down cereal boxes. And I got one, and the whole team signed it. And all the mechanics and stuff. And I said, what would be
Whole
really
team?
awesome
Holy shit!
Well, the ones from the shop, not like
okay,
not the pit crew or anything, but it was like
okay.
6 or 7 people in the shop there doing the basically the finished work, and they were it was just, it wasn't long after the season ended, and so they were there was cars there was they were doing stuff, but it wasn't, they weren't nose to the ground. They took time to talk to me, and I remember I looked over at my uncle and I said it'd just be cool if Terry Labonte was here. And I look up, and here comes Terry around the corner.
Oh my gosh!
Walks right over to us, and stops, signs my hat, signs my shirt, and it was the first time I ever actually like spoke to him, and I was like, hey, how are you doing? Have you they hadn't announced what 10 races he was going to do yet for the next year, and I said have you narrowed down what racetracks you want to go to? And he's like, yeah, I think we've about got it figured out. You'll probably hear something soon. And he signed my stuff, hey, thanks, have a good day. And he and then he honked the horn. He was driving a white like little cargo van, Chevy cargo van, and he honked the horn and waved as he went out. And I was like that's just cool.
Yeah.
So that's probably my fanboy story, I guess.
I got goosebumps head to toe, bro, because I've never even seen Terry Labonte in person.
Yeah. He both Labontes are good people. Like I met Bobby once, like where I could actually speak to him, and that was he was real down to earth. It was funny. I met Casey Kane one time and we talked about hunting for some reason. Because one of the guys I was with,
hey, he likes to hunt.
Yeah, the guy I was one of my buddies. He was there with me, and he's like, and he was wearing camo, and he's like, "Do you hunt?" And he's like, "Some." He's like, "Where do you hunt at?" So we had this few-minute conversation about hunting of all things. So it was cool. And one of the funniest, I guess, meeting a driver before I got in the industry was Dale Jr.
Oh man, you're just gonna drop Dale Jr.
I met him at an autograph deal down in Charlotte that a bunch of the drivers were at, and I had a Bobby Labonte hat on, and it was like I think I had the 18 on it. I think it was 18 back before he left Gibbs. And I looked at him. I said, he walked by and he was done signing his autographs and he walked off. I just stuck my hat out. I said, hey Junior, you mind signing this? And he looked at the hat and looked at me and signed the hat and handed it back to me and ducked out the door and went back out. So it's like he just kind of had that look of, why do you want me to sign Bobby Labonte's hat? Of course, then I got Bobby to sign it after that. So.
You know what, John? It's funny you tell that, because when I met Dale Jarrett in 2012 at Homestead, I had my Dale Jr. hat, which is an 88, and it's red, but it was Amp Energy, so it was like green and red 88, and Dale Jarrett was there for ESPN, and he, I was in the Brad Keselowski's championship celebration there, and Dale was signing autographs, and I said, Dale, I'm sorry, but it's an 88, right? And he just kind of gave me that same look and just signed it and got out of there. Didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike.
Yo.
Before we sign off, I got a story for you. You asked him about what his fan thing is. Well, you see me, I like open wheel, right? It was the 2015 Indianapolis 500, my first trip ever there. When I stepped inside that track for the first time, I said, look, this is the most beautiful, most iconic track ever. It was beautiful. Indianapolis is beautiful. That Indy 500 was fantastic. And what made it even more fantastic, Juan Pablo Montoya came from 33rd position to first to win that 500. I tell you what, that was one of my greatest 500s ever. That in 2017. Ooh, that's.
I'm a publicly known Montoya hater, so that sounds like the worst story ever. But no, man, I laid my first track I laid eyes on was Daytona, and to me that'll always be the greatest and my favorite place in the whole world. And I lived there for 3 years. I used to take my lunch breaks and just eat Burger King on the back stretch in the parking lot, and I used to just stare at it, and I could hear the moments, here comes Earnhardt off turn 4, and I could, Jeff Gordon is gonna win. I can just, just driving around it and living there, I could feel those vibrations. So I was actually in Indiana in Indianapolis in 2007, and I was pretty close to Indy, the track, and I asked my dad, I'm like, can we stop? I got it. It's Indianapolis. I got to at least look at it. And by that point he was, we didn't get to stop, but I feel like I would love being there at the track, the museum. I would definitely feel those same vibrations, but I wouldn't ever want to go to a race there. I've heard about, how they zoom by you and then they're gone and you just don't ever see them. So I really don't. It's not really on my bucket list of tracks. But I'm just gonna shout out the Speedway Review. Jordan, I appreciate the shout out earlier. Speedway Review. It's a page on Facebook. You can look it up. Powered by my page and fan group NASCAR Daily. John, I appreciate you being a member. Our podcast is Wednesdays at 8 p.m. And like last night, we had a special guest interview pop-up episode, so if you follow us, we don't, you never know who's gonna jump on the podcast. Maybe we'll interview John. I kind of like to have you on there, buddy. You're really entertaining and knowledgeable and stuff like that. And I'll talk to Chris and Corey about it. But I always plug the Till Valhalla project. You can look them up on Facebook. They're clothing merchandise for our soldiers, veterans, and those that paid the ultimate sacrifice. They use their profits they make off their products to make these plaques, these beautiful plaques for the families of our heroes that paid the ultimate price. And they also support the 22 a day, which supports the soldiers' suicide. And man, Fanatics and StreamYard. I want to thank StreamYard and Jordan. I'm damn proud of you with this podcast, man. Even though you're ripping me off a little bit, but You took my inspiration, man. I tell you, John, I don't know if you saw Jordan's interview with Bill Lester, but he wrote that whole segment. He had all those notes. He had all the information. He was going to do it his own. And then me being friends with Bill, I said, Bill, we got this diversity topic. I got my buddy Jordan. He's got this, he's got it ready to go. And Bill instantly jumped on once he heard about Jordan's passion and how personal he took it. And I got to say, man, I was tearing up watching the two of them talk, even though it was my creation and I wasn't a part. I didn't get to be a part of it. You know, Jordan, like I said, I'm damn proud of you, buddy.
Yeah, and John has connections with Brianna Daniels, so you never know. She might be on the show.
Yeah, we still talk about it occasionally. She's always got stuff going on. She's always got obligations. I mean, it's I guess the curse of being the first to do something. But yeah, I said it's a pleasure, and Mike, if you get stuff worked out and something we can do, I mean, I'd be happy to come get on and talk more racing. I can usually talk a lot about racing. So.
We'll definitely work you in there, buddy. I'll send him this video, and I'm gonna sign off. Jordan, thanks for having me on, and I'll try to come back in a couple of weeks.
All right. See you later, buddy.
All right. Good night, guys. Have fun.
Yeah.
Night, buddy.
All right, John, Xavier, it's been a great show, guys.
Oh yeah, sorry I missed out part of it, but
you're fine.
I'll be
you're
better
fine.
next time.
All right, you're fine. And hopefully next time Austin will be able to join us.
Yeah, he should get his truck back good where he doesn't have to focus on that. Pretty quick. But yeah, he'll definitely be back. I'd say next week.
All right. Well, it's gonna show, and you guys have a wonderful night. All right.
All right, you too, bud.
All right. See ya. All right, guys. This has been a Race Talk.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.